Um, watched The Banshees of Inisherin. It's a very hyped up film at the moment. It's an okay film. It's alright. I watched it. Yeah, it was very Irish. Yeah, very Irish. The nosy post office lady, and it was very so stubborn and bad and stuff. And particularly towards the end, it's like, "Jeez, I think I like him now." That's very Irish, you know what I mean? So, what's this film about? It's not said in the film, and it's not said in the world what this film is about, but that's why this film kind of said it best for everybody. These have been cloning since the 1890s, as in 1890. These have been successfully cloning. Dolly the sheep was introduced into Ireland to make Irish people more familiar or accustomed to this kind of cloning technique, because it can be used on farming, obviously, very easily. I just buy one cow and then I can clone a whole fucking sheep or field of degenerate, godforsaken, nameless cows. So, just as a topic on this, while we're on cows, you realise that cows contribute to a big problem in the atmospheric methane contributions and carbon dioxide contributions. God doesn't know these creatures. God wasn't expecting these creatures to exist. When God expects a creature to exist, God makes more clean air and water and trees to accommodate for the life that God put on the earth. It's a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful system before you all started messing with it. Now, God doesn't know these, and God doesn't know clone people either. And they breathe a lot, you know? They breathe a lot of carbon dioxide out, and they fart a lot of methane. And this is not ready. God does not know about this. God does not regulate this. Because God doesn't know these people. They're not people, these things. They're not named. They're unknown. So yeah, that's a big problem with your stupid clones in the world. This is what the film is about. There was a civil war in Ireland on the mainland, and in the film you actually see Colin Farrell's clone. Colin Farrell does not act in this film. It's Colin Farrell's clone. So Hollywood are very familiar to all this because there's so much cloning going on, particularly around Hollywood, and doppelgangers and stunts and doubles and people that'll go to your signings and to your meet and greets and to clone presidents. They're probably cloning presidents first. You know, they wanted doppelgangers and securities for president, and then they figured out it's really easy to do this, and we can replace any president. Virtually, is very effective and very effective and very cheap to replace anybody. My family. Replace absolutely anybody with a bit of money and a bit of royalties, and they'll just replace them with clones. So that is what is happening in this film. You see the clone of Colin Farrell, and it's actually Colin Farrell's clone. He's the kind of tanned guy that doesn't exactly look like the Dubliner lad, who's usually very pale and a bit more rounded around the face. So you see Colin Farrell's clone in this one, and you see the Irish guy in this film. I can't remember what his name is. Sheehan. I can't remember. The big ginger lad that always works with Tom Cruise. And he just suddenly fell out with his friend. See, he got word from the mainland about the clones, and he learned about clones. And his clone friend that he's had all his life, and they turned around and told him that, oh yeah, by the way, your best buddy there, your little best buddy that you've had all those years, he's also a fucking clone. So that's what happens. That's why he suddenly turns around in the film and is like, I don't want to be around you anymore. And he's like, well, what did I do? What did I do? I was like, no, you didn't do anything, to be honest. You probably didn't do anything. This isn't your master plan. This isn't your clone factory. This isn't your thing. Thing is, especially they do it on islands. They'll grow people in islands, like islands off Australia, or little weird towns in Germany, where they raise these clones and get them, what's the word, prepared for society, intermediating, I'm not sure what the word is, preparing somebody, integrating clones into society. So there's some weird towns in Germany, and there's some weird islands off Australia, and there's probably some weird islands off Ireland as well. So that's why you see this in this island, that they're having this clone thing, and the mainland are fighting over all this kind of stuff. I've seen loads of BBC stuff, you know, it's good of you to show your face. It's like, I used to work in that factory for years. Yeah, I never worked in my factory at all, get away from me. And then your man looks crazy to the public because his former employee had been cloned. Yeah, that's why you see that he's angry. He's not exactly angry. He doesn't want anything to do with them anymore. But then, like, he still feels bad for the clone, and he's the main character kind of thing. And the man's being stubborn and angry, and he's like, "What did I do? What did I say?" He's like, "You didn't say anything. I just don't like you anymore. I just don't want to be around you." You're a waste of breath, you're a waste of air, and you're a waste of my time. I'm going to go off and do some human stuff, like write some music, have some cracking kyo, and I don't want anything to do with you anymore, Dolly. Can you imagine how hard this is if your mother was cloned and replaced, and every day you have to hang out with your clone mother, and your clone father, and your clone brother? And I'm worth a fortune. I'm worth quadrillions, in case you're wondering, guys. Why did murder replace my family? And they tried to murder and replace me, and I don't die. That's the irony or the twist, the even so Jesus Christ of the situation, that they tried 14 times now. I've tried desperately to murder and doppelganger and replace me, and I don't die. So it was very problematic for them to try and replace me. Had a little clone standing by, disappeared me, and then I didn't die, and then they disappeared the clone again, and then I came back. After they gave me a lobotomy. So yeah, you can feel sorry for this doppelganger, all you like, this clone, all you like, but it's hard to deal with them, when you're wondering, like, where's my actual mother in a cesspool out in Florida somewhere? A septic tank out in Florida somewhere. Or my family, like, in a septic tank somewhere, what's left of them. And I'm just semblantly carrying on in my life, with clowns around me, and the government that's conspiring to kill me with the Rose World and Florida and every other stupid fucking hike that came to this country in the last... in Ireland at the moment, they're trying to put a limit or a cap on the amount of people flocking to this country, and it's not exactly like Italy, where we're getting loads of people from Africa or somewhere flooding to this country. We're being flooded by wealthy people. And it's hilarious. In government, they don't even realise what they're talking about. How could you say that about poor refugees? Like, these are the richest scum on earth, and they're flocking and flooding and filling up and conquesting. It's the first horse. Ireland was conquested 8 or 9 years ago. Since conquest started in Ireland, and they're in your government, they're in your buildings, they're in your everything now at this point. They even brought IPA back. We didn't have Irish Pale Ale in this country, but they brought Irish Pale Ale back to this country, so that's alright. It's helping me get by a bit. While they're murdering all my friends and family that are worth a fortune. His favourite 14 people are worth a fortune, and they murdered them all. And then anybody I bump into on the streets is technically one of my favourite 14, and then they murdered them. So I'm just walking around as big swastika flying around me backwards, and everybody I talk to, you watching this, hi, you want to be my friend? They probably disappear. A lot of YouTube stuff probably disappear, so this is what the Banshees of Inisherin and stuff about. There's some other really interesting pieces. There's some little secret little things in it, like the dirty pig. Sorry, it's an oxymoron. The police officer in the film. Some kid drowned up in the lake the other day. It's like, oh Jesus, that's terrible. He was a fool. He was an absolute little gobshite. The fool, what is he doing? He deserved to be drowned in the food. And then you also see later on, after word gets out on the street that the police officer is abusing his son, in many ways, abusing his son. And Colin Farrell's clone says it to him, that he heard that you're abusing your young lad. Then the young lad wound up in the lake as well. So the guard was the one who originally killed both of them. The guard killed both of them. And this is very common for a guard. It's particularly the community guards, the old ones that can't really escape the business. You notice the ones they're the real serial killing, snuffy, dirty fuckers, because they can't get away. They can't exactly retire. So they're community guards typically, and he killed the young lad that's unseen in the film, and he killed his own son. He drowned also his own son in the lake in the same way. That's a weird little Easter egg. Not an Easter egg, but it was unmentioned really in the film. I can't remember who the second person was who died in that film. And there was going to be 2 deaths on Inisherin. I can't remember the second one. In the last one, he didn't get burnt alive in that. I think it was the pig and his son. I think it was the pig that died. So yeah, Dolly Balls. That's what that's all about. And that's why it was unspoken in the film, and trying to get over things, and really hatch it out and elaborate and said it for how they said it for everybody, the initiative countries, and there's so much of it going on in the industry, in the music industry at the moment, and you can't talk about it. It's not going to be talked about because there'll be absolute war, and everyone will be killing each other, and everyone will be finding out who's a fucking clown and who's not a clown. They'll all be killing each other. Just to let you know, in clown slang, see, the band Weezer were kind of all replaced. I think Brian was the last one, and then Brian recently got replaced as well. And then there's this terrible little Weezer ad. Weezer are a rock band, sorry, I don't know if you're an American rock band. About there's a Roomba kind of thing, a thing that hoovers your carpet. The clones go on about being called like robots, like Daft Punk, human, and robot, because the French are very familiar to all this. Roomba is like Hoover's carpets were better than Rivers Cuomo ever hoovered carpets. There's all these little funny clone jokes in it, but they also say in it, we're brushing off the dust. And that's clone talk for killing all the humans. We're brushing off the dust. Just to let you know. So while you don't know about it, they all do. They all support networks and things, and they have companies that call them up and keep them in touch. And if they're going a little AWOL, they just get replaced again. They just snuff it and then replace the clone again if you're going a bit AWOL. So you have a choice to just live this semblant little parody. I couldn't care if it's a nightmare for them. It's a nightmare for everyone else. There's fucking effect. Semblant little parody. Or get like snuffed and replaced, just like the original person was probably snuffed and replaced. They grow up in these real weird white rooms with asexual plants all around them. I'm seeing into it. They have an interest in Venus flytraps as well. You notice I'm going on about Venus flytraps. Check out my Venus flytrap. Some asexual plant that they're probably stem celled off of, or the trick of their stem cell probably came from. As the asexual plants. So that's what that's about, you dolly balls. And I don't care if your whole world falls into absolute clone wars and Attack of the Clones, like was predicted by Lucas. I couldn't give a fuck. They're wasting your oxygen and they're farting too much. Saw some weird show actually when it was all breaking down. Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it. It was so weird. Alexa in the TV. Like in The Ring, Samara gets put down the well, and then she's in your TVs and she's in the waters and you can't escape her. You tried adulterously to escape and conceal her, and then you can't escape her. So yeah, Mr. Presidents are probably cloned. Higgins is cloned. Higgins was cloned a few times. The Vatican called in all of the presidents of Europe there a while ago and probably cloned half of them, killed and cloned, recloned, as in they were cloned, and the Vatican called them in and killed them and recloned them. Yeah, I think Boris Johnson got killed for being insensitive and proud or something like that. Some sort of weird reason to kill Boris Johnson for. Yeah, anyone with a bit of money. Half the BBC gone. David Mitchell. Corin's husband. I'm not sure about Corin herself. I always call her Corin. I don't know. I can remember. It's Victoria. I just call her Corin. I think his name. Yeah, David's dead and replaced. A lot of money. And I'm very prudent and cautious, properly investor and saver. And David's gone. Loads of them gone. Not going to get into it. Snoop's gone. Snoop's gone. Long gone. Snoop Dogg. A lot of royalties there. Snoop Dogg, all those movies and all those albums, a lot of royalties for a brother that's pretty much like not backed up properly, you know what I mean? So yeah, all over the place. They don't care, they're cold ass psychopathic clowns that they'll murder, snuff and replace any single one of yous. So protect your neck. And again, God doesn't know them, so I don't really think if it matters all too much if you slug a few of them, or if you kill them. Just don't make a mistake and slug, someone by accident, slug the wrong person. Slug me, you know what I mean? You make a great mistake. You want to be careful who you're slugging. But yes, God doesn't care for them. So I wouldn't have minded going out to Myanmar, and their clone armies. There's clone armies all over the place. Loads of clone armies with little chicken legs. Little chicken legs that don't straighten out all the way properly. And they had a clone army in Myanmar. They tried to replace the president with clones. Again, Myanmar and other places, they're trying to do this. So I was actually going to go to Myanmar and join the resistance. I wouldn't harm a fly. Vegan, celibate, Taoist, and so forth. I thought it'd be alright. I'd slug a few fucking clones. I couldn't give a fuck. They fucking murdered my family, replaced my family. Poxy clone regime. I wouldn't have minded going out to Myanmar and slugging some clones. Good target practice in the least, if anything, you know what I mean? And, again, carbon dioxide and methane. So, oh yeah, and you're eating clone meat. Yeah, everyone's eating clone meat. That's obvious. Let's just know about that. You're all eating filthy clone meat. Which is probably what starts things like cancer and stuff like this. Yeah, cancer really did only appear, like, in modern times. So it's either between, like, electromagnetic waves and frequencies or things in the air. I'd imagine the amount of satellites around the Earth has something to do with big time with the radiation issues on Earth. But things like eating clone meat is going to have a big effect on you as well. Or drinking clone milk, yes. Drinking milk from a clone. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, tear the place out. I can't do it and just fall for inciting right. I'm not inciting a riot, but, you do what you feel is best to do, you know what I mean? And, yeah. Don't think of anything else to say. Never good at finishing things, am I? Finish here and shoes. Yeah. No. Oh, they don't have worries and things and names as well. That's another thing. So they could rather find fond of murdering you and taking stuff from you to make them more humane. As they can't exactly achieve the way that real humans can achieve, being known to God. So there's another appeal for them to kill and murder you. I saw some American movie about it there recently, that they're cloning everyone at this point. They're cloning absolutely everyone, or there was just like important people, but they're probably cloning them, and they're all living underground and used to psychically control the people on top, which is a bit little exoteric. They probably are a bit to an extent. It was funny though. It's like it starts with the black family and the clones of the black family. It's like not the family, the family. Sorry, pronouns and people before his people family happened to appear to be black. Like that matters. But it isn't funny in this place because the black family were kind of toying with them or compassionate or talking, and then you see the white family. And like the white family are just ruthless. They just kill you. They kill their original people, their original namesakes, brutally and quickly and cold-hearted. White people, ruthless, and they replaced the whole family. Wake up. I have another video on this explaining it kind of eloquently, saying, "Be afraid, be alert, be afraid." But yeah, no. So yeah, just I'm not instigating and wholly global civil war now, but if you can make them stop breathing and farting without killing them, I suppose. You can't really, can you? Make them stop breathing and farting without killing them. So anyway, Total Recall.